Hello and welcome back to the Sunday special episode of the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. We love a Sunday special.
Love it.
Little bite-sized episode. Great to share. We're in the new year. We don't...
Mid-January. This is the longest month of the year.
It is a long month.
It's a long
long haul. Yeah, it's but this is the time of year, share a podcast. People
are getting their shit together this year.
Get your shit together. Maybe they got more hours in the day. They're not drinking. They're doing like a sober January.
Are you doing a sober January? You did that last year, I think.
I've done it before. I think it's worth it.
Okay.
I think it's like, it's easy to make fun of. It's a fun punchline. It's like, you know, it becomes a little bit basic because you hear about it from like the same type of person. But like, I get it.
Yeah. It's like a sober Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
I do a Sunday every now and again.
Yeah.
I'm wet January.
Wet January.
That's right.
You're getting wet in all kinds of different ways.
Always.
A lot of precipitation up in here.
A wreck January.
Amazing.
Are you drinking this month?
I'm drinking like when there's an activity to drink for.
I think that's where I'm trying to move towards. That's where I'm trying to take my cruise ship.
Okay.
Not, I should not drink because my brother's wedding's coming up. I gotta shred for the wedding.
Yeah?
Shredding for the wedding.
Do you feel the pressure?
A little bit. I'm gonna be in pictures.
Family photos?
Yeah.
Are you
there might
best
be some
man?
Women at the wedding.
You're making a speech?
I got it. This is a lot of pressure.
Yeah. You're
comedian.
The best, I assume you're the best man. It's if you're not if your only brother's best man for a wedding,
I always judge it.
that would be like that's.
Yeah.
And then occasionally you see it happen, and it's always a little weird.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
It's or like they have a duel.
Right.
They got to include the other guy.
Yeah. You could tell it was like a kind of an uncomfortable thought process.
I don't like it at all. Yeah.
But you're the best man?
Yeah, they didn't do it. You know, she's got two sisters and you know, it was kind of very keep it on the inside. He's not even doing a bachelor party.
Wow.
Like he is. I mean, what's the date that's coming out? The next weekend.
You're like, I'm just not going.
Right.
No,
it's next weekend. I'm planning it.
It's a great weekend for a bachelor party.
Yeah, we're excited. We're going to play golf. So, but it's like my brother, my dad, my uncle, and I.
Okay.
So
you said no strippers.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go to hold my dad's hand at the strip club.
That does not sound fun.
I'm not really a stripper guy. I'm just not.
That's
at this point in life. I've gone. Come on.
Right.
I love strippers.
I always wish I could see into the bachelor parties to see because we never get to know the ladies. We never get to know who the stripper guys are.
Well, here's what I will say. Every bachelor party has one guy who's too into going to the strip club.
Right.
And they're annoying. They're annoying me. We're judging their marriage. We're judging everything about them. I don't know if he's your guy. But and guys don't go home and report this shit. We just go, yeah, he's annoying. Like I remember I was on one bachelor party. This guy wouldn't stop about strip clubs, and I'm like, dude, enough, enough. I want to I want to be with women who might want to fuck me.
Right.
You know,
like you as like a single guy who has game, it seems.
I don't have game.
I think that I think the strip club thing seems like a safe adventure for like a married man.
Yeah, but it's like if we don't want to do it, we don't want to do it. Right. You know, like it's
Stop
like
making us look at these titties.
It does. It becomes a moral thing. As weird as that sounds, it becomes like, oh, you don't like naked women. It's like it's hard in the group to go against it.
Right.
You know, because it's like he always kind of thinks he's right. The general strip club guy, is always like, what? Right. What, you don't want to go to the strip? What are we doing? And that's why, like, when I plan a bachelor party, as I have.
Did you plan this one?
Yeah. You need tentpole events. You need things to do. You want, like,
of course.
Men like to just make fun of each other, drink, eat, and look at women, but not approach them. That's what they like to do.
Just look.
And just look, and, the single ones will go approach. There's a couple married ones who like to, they'll
have some fun.
They'll do like the talk to women and but like they got their they got their mittens on. Yeah, the wings are clipped.
Okay, they keep the rings on.
I've never noticed. Yeah, okay. I've never really seen a guy take off his ring for. I've never been friends with that guy.
Okay, that's
generally
good.
All right. It's been a while, so maybe now they've changed.
They're divorced now.
Well, I have a couple friends of mine that are like, "Can you get it together so you can have a bachelor party? Like we're now so
need
far
this.
out that they need it.
Right. Well, it's funny. My friends and I were planning it is our collective 35th birthday this year.
Okay.
1980. Everyone born in 1989 is
Taylor
turning
Swift year.
the Taylor Swift year, and Taylor Swift. We're all turning 35 this year.
Okay.
So we're doing a girls trip.
Love it.
For our collective birthdays, so we don't have to go to anyone's fucking 35th birthday.
I think it's a great idea. What are you gonna do?
We're going to Cancun.
Cancun.
Beach
Dance
by
with the
noon.
devil.
Beach by noon.
Love it.
Yeah.
A nicer place in Cancun. Like it's not like
we're going to a nicer
FTV
place.
gonna be
no,
there?
we're going to
That
a
was always
nicer
the thing.
place. We're doing this adultish. We're doing a nicer place. 2-door room.
Love it.
No more 4-door room
No,
bullshit.
thank God.
We're above that now.
I love it.
2-door
When's the trip?
End of March.
Great time to do it.
Yeah.
People will be done with being inside, done with like
Exactly.
the winter blues. This is great.
Yeah. This is good.
That's
I'm
when
very
Harry's getting
excited.
married too.
That weekend? Which weekend?
The 23rd.
Oh yeah, that's the weekend.
the-
But
okay.
we're gonna have a good recap on the
That'll
week
be a
after
great,
that.
Great
Yeah.
recap. Yeah, no, it's I like that. I was invited to a collective 40th birthday
Okay.
trip.
Are you gonna go?
I had to cancel.
I feel like you don't go to these things. You should go.
Yeah.
I sound like your mother. You should go.
I had it booked. I canceled it literally a day ago. It was
Why?
to the Dominican Republic because there was some miscommunication and my shows got
Aren't
booked
you
in Toronto and
38
Boston.
years old?
My friends, I think they're the four.
Oh, they still
it's like
invited
the
you.
older. Yeah, I
That's
listen.
nice.
Your Papa JT, goes to all ages.
Okay.
So, no, it was like a collective. Like they did one at 30, just like you're saying.
Right.
I think it's a great idea.
And you said no because you have.
No, I booked it, and then there was a miscommunication. Then Boston and Toronto got booked the same weekend, so I had to cancel it. But so please come to those shows. I am
make it worth it.
Not seeing my friends.
Maybe you'll do one for your 40th.
I would do it. Hopefully the bachelor party will happen then.
Yeah,
who
maybe you'll be
knows?
married by then.
Maybe. You
Maybe
never
you'll
know.
have 2 kids. Who knows?
Knocking on all wood. No, I think those trips are necessary, and I think like it's something that our generation is hard on themselves about.
About taking those trips? Or not
Our
taking them?
parents, I don't know, your parents,
Yeah,
my parents
they didn't
never
go
like
anywhere.
they didn't go anywhere. My
Right.
parents
they
like
didn't have any friends.
no friends, no nothing. They didn't keep in touch the way we do.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they couldn't. They didn't have the technology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then like my parents would go on like my dad used to have like work trips.
Okay.
So they would go on these work trips all the time and like, you'd hear there was a party and they'd have fun, but it wasn't like I'm going with my friends that I went to college with. In the way
Right.
and I think millennials, I think we're hard on ourselves. I think we generally, why,
do we need to do this?
do I need to do this?
Right.
I'm a dad, I'm a whatever. And it's like, go fucking do it. Enjoy
Yeah.
it. And travel is just so much different now. Like,
So easy. Well, that's why we picked Cancun.
right. Direct flight,
Direct
beach by
flights.
noon.
People who are not in New York. There's flights from everywhere. Direct. 20
Absolutely.
minutes from the airport. Leave when you want. Come when you want. It's gonna be.
That's the thing. That's when someone does Tulum. This has always been my thing about Tulum.
Right.
Is that it's a garbage idea. It's someone who doesn't care about it. Their friends.
Yeah.
They're building an airport there now. But I'm saying if you're planning
past, yeah.
what's that?
In the past. If
In
you've
the
done- yeah.
past, to go fly to Cancun an hour and a half. What is it? 2 hours.
2 hours basically. from
2
the airport,
hours
yeah.
from Cancun to Tulum. If you're planning that trip, you haven't thought about anyone else.
Right.
You've actually
Especially like the older you get, it's more like we just want to be on the beach.
right. Absolutely. I don't need. Right. I don't need the gym that's out on the beach that has the
Exactly.
wooden weights.
Yeah.
Or for a good picture opportunity. You just want to be on the beach again.
Drinking
Beach
with your
by
friends,
noon.
yeah.
This is the whole premise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm
I'm excited for your trip.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited for your brother's wedding. To hear about it.
I'm excited. You
You
just
started the
reminded me of the
speech?
speech. I haven't
When
started
are you
it
going to
yet.
write the speech? I feel like you're going to write
I'm
it like
not
the
a
week
big-
before.
Probably. I'm a big, when it comes to bachelorette speeches, and I've given this advice. People ask, because they go, you talk in front of people. You tell one story that you've told a million times about this person. If you're the best man, best woman, whatever the maid of honor, you've told a story about the person whose wedding it is. If you haven't, then you shouldn't be the fucking maid of honor.
Right.
So you've told a story, you've told it 100 times, so you've already fleshed out the beats. You've seen people look away,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you cut that
You've
part
done
out.
your bit. Everyone who does a speech is essentially trying to do a bit.
Yeah. So
Right,
you've
yeah.
worked out the bit without even knowing you have. And then you end it by relating it to the couple.
Right.
Done. You've done it.
All right,
It's
you're
sweet.
done. Yeah, you're good.
So I think I got a story to tell.
There's nothing worse than when you do a speech. Women make each other do this all the time. I want the three of you to make a speech together.
Horrible.
Fuck off.
No, horrible.
No.
They pass off the
Yeah.
printout. I hate the printout.
Right. Lauren is the best. She
Right.
better than the rest. And like
Leave it to
everyone,
one
it's kinda
person who can tell a story.
Exactly. And everyone hates those speeches. No one likes listening to them.
I used to do a joke about it that the maid of honor speech was all about letting people know how much of friends they were.
Right.
It was never about in service of a story. It was always in service of I'm here because I'm the number one fucking bitch.
Right.
And they had to like tell everyone. So it's like, I'm the friend who did this. And remember that, and it was all inside jokes. You get a lot of inside jokes with the maid of honor speeches. And it's like, keep it broad.
Right.
Like, let's.
Well, it's a tough job, I have to say, because there's a lot more room to make fun of men. And
Absolutely.
it's
There's
socially
the less-
unacceptable
right.
to be roasting the bride that much.
You're
You
absolutely
do a little
right.
bit.
It's gotten better,
Yeah.
but you're absolutely right.
I found it hard to make a speech about the bride because I do think it's a very fine line.
You couldn't be more right. The idea, you can get up. If I got married at 40, took you long enough,
Right.
could be said.
Right. Not for
My 40-year-old wife.
Yeah.
Took you long enough.
Right.
Can you even have kids anymore? Like, can you imagine?
Right. After all the guys you've slept with.
Right. And people would do that to a man.
Right.
You know, it's not in good taste, but they would do it.
Yeah, it's more tasteful than doing it to a woman. It's like socially
Right.
unacceptable to do that.
No, it's harder. You have to be a very good writer to do a way better writer.
Yeah. I've seen some creative shit though. So I think it's better
for a
when you
maid of honor.
I saw someone at a wedding, a woman, she did like she was like good at singing and she did like a song. She remade the lyrics to Time After Time to like the thing, and it was so good. It was like the best thing I've ever seen.
That could be fun. I could do something like that.
You could do that. And then everyone started like getting into like
clapping
clapping and
along.
doing the thing, and it was just so clever.
A video piece.
It's the best thing I've seen.
Time after time. That's in my register.
There you go. You could use
Okay.
it. I don't think anyone at your brother's wedding will have been to the one I was at.
Right. I like this. Okay. The wheels are turning.
I'm excited to. I make sure someone films it.
I don't know. The other thing is like, people, when you're a comedian, they have something on you immediately. You're vulnerable because when you put yourself out there to be funny,
Oh yeah.
all they have to go is, well, the other one was better than yours and you're a comedian. Like you can't avoid douchery like that.
Right. No, that's definitely
It's horrific.
a thing.
So
a very high bar.
Yeah. So I really have to do well. I have to crush her sisters.
I mean, again, I think you're going to be fine with that.
Hopefully. I got to start working.
It is embarrassing when the maid of honor speech is better than the best man's. So
What are you doing
no
to me?
pressure. No pressure. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. All right.
Couple of amateurs. I'm a
Especially if
pro.
you got two sisters, especially if they're doing it together, as we
Right.
just said. All right. Let's do.
They're
some-
very lovey-dovey, so I think theirs is going to be a real tear-jerker.
Okay, so that's
I'm
good. You're
lucky.
gonna go a
Yeah.
totally different. Maybe you could do a tearjerker.
Maybe I could. You never know what direction I could go in.
You could.
You never know.
We'll find out.
Maybe I'll bring in a whole marching band and make it my wedding.
Maybe are you gonna bring a date? No way.
At this moment,
Maybe.
I'm still sitting with +1.
Okay. You got a +1 though.
I think I do.
You'll find out when you get the
I haven't
invitation.
gotten the invite yet.
All right.
Let's
Ready?
play a game.
We should auction off a date, the date for the
That
wedding.
would be.
That would be a movie.
They
bring
would
one UF
they would get
listener.
so mad at
No,
Harry wouldn't
be like
care.
you'd make the whole thing about you.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Really the worst thing.
And she has to wear a wedding dress.
She has to wear white.
Right.
Yeah. And then you announce your engagement at the wedding.
I'll propose there.
Yeah. It's like how Jared Freed ruins a wedding. I'd watch that movie.
Ruthie's listening to this horrified.
All
None
right.
of this is gonna happen.
It's not going to happen. Probably not. We'll
Probably
see.
not. Well, yeah, you know.
All right. Hi, J&J. Thanks for always humbling me when I think that I have the craziest dating stories.
That's right.
Here's-
Humble pie.
There you go.
Nom, 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 nom.
Here is my icky or picky. I went on a couple of dates with a guy who called goosebumps chill bumps. At first, I thought it was weird, but it didn't rise to the level of an ick. But then when we hooked up, he thought he was giving me chill bumps because I was so turned on. In reality, I was freezing.
No, that pussy is not wet.
Such a man thing to think. I told him I was
Those
cold.
your chill bumps from me kissing your neck.
No, I'm just quite cold.
Oh.
I told him I was cold and asked for a blanket. But still, every time I had chill bumps, he would point them out and say, "Oh, chill bumps." In what he thought was I guess it's like, "Oh, chill bumps." In what he thought was a sexy voice.
Chill bumps.
He was legitimately proud of himself every time I had chill bumps. Needless to say, this became an ick. Things ended quickly because we had different opinions on wanting kids.
That's why it ended?
That sounds like that was more about why it ended than the
Yeah.
chill bumps. But regardless, chill bumps created a short expiration date for the relationship. Is this a justified ick, or am I just being picky? Sincerely, cold and turned off.
So there's an icky or picky.
I think I would be really irritated if I was actually quite cold and they were not doing anything to help warm me up and just kept thinking that I was having an orgasm.
Ooh, chill bumps.
Oh wow,
I guess you're done. I can get blown now.
Right. Like, no, I would really just like a blanket or a sweatshirt.
Right.
Thank you. Turn up the heat.
It sounds like a fun hookup. I think this is picky.
You think?
Well, the initial annoyance is that instead of goosebumps, they call them
Right.
chill bumps. And then she goes, I get them because I get cold. So it's not like crazy to call them chill bumps.
Does he know that it's wrong?
I've heard them called chili bumps. I've heard them called
From
chill
who?
bumps.
Chili bumps?
Chili bumps, yeah.
From who?
Goosebumps, chili bumps, chill bumps.
Chili bumps?
I've heard chili bumps before.
That sounds like a bad strain of cocaine.
We got some chili bumps in the,
Who's down?
in the bathroom. Got a key. No, I've heard chili bumps, and I always thought it was funny.
Okay.
I would say goosebumps, but I've heard chili bumps.
Yeah, I think if everything else were good with the person, I would be fine with it.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
If I was
don't think
already on the fence and then they kept saying that, I would be like, all right.
it's more that she wasn't getting off, and he's like, "Oh, look at those
Right.
chill bumps." Like, if she
That's
was
kind of
getting
annoying.
off,
Yeah.
she'd be like, "Yeah, I guess I'll call him whatever the fuck you want."
I guess you really like this boob graze, huh? I can see you're getting the chills.
That's the ick, is the Morgan Freeman narration of you getting.
Ooh, you got your chill bumps.
She got her chill bumps that day from how wet she got from my girthy penis.
Yeah.
Is that a good Morgan Freeman? No.
It's not bad.
You knew what I was going
yeah,
for.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not bad.
Okay. If that's the review of my bachelor party speech.
No one ever said. Here's the thing: no one's going to tell you if the speech is awful.
Yeah.
Maybe your dad.
Yeah, my dad will let me know.
What do you say? What do I say to every person after their speech? If you see them, amazing speech, so funny.
Well,
loved it.
I get a lot of credit. It goes the other way too. When I go to a wedding and I say love the speech to someone, you can tell they like that I told them.
Oh,
that.
okay.
You know,
because they value your opinion.
you can feel it.
Did you
know
hear
when
Jared said it was great?
Jared, yeah,
Yeah.
right. And I always make sure to give someone a little.
Do you
bring
say it
them
if
in.
you don't believe it?
Yes.
Okay.
I go
so
up
it
to
doesn't
them.
mean anything.
It means nothing.
Right.
But I go up to them and I give them because I know it matters
A
more.
comedian.
A comedian.
Right. Thinks that the
An
speech
artist.
was good. Right. Then that person goes on to like start doing open mic nights.
Then
That's
I
when
would
then
be
you gotta be
insulted.
reeled back. Right.
Bring them back off the cliff.
I was just trying to be nice. Okay.
Hey man, remember when I told you the speech was good? Not that good.
You say that right before they go on stage.
Right.
See about the seller.
Let's do an email. You ready?
Yeah. You want to read it?
Is this just the 7-year itch or something more?
So it's breakup January, I think.
Yeah, I
right?
think
These
people.
emails are coming in.
Well, again, post holidays, nothing on the horizon.
Yeah.
Nothing to be blamed
Now
for.
you're just left with the person right in front of you.
That's it.
You're either in or you're out.
Cold and together. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 7 years. We met when we were 19 in college and started dating a year later after being friends first. We're both 27 now. Have gone through some major milestones together, both completing our doctoral degrees, moving twice, adopting 2 pets, etc. While engagement is the next step and we've discussed it seriously, I can't help but wonder if I'm having that 7-year itch. I'm just having regular old commitment issues, or if we've grown apart in our 20s. For example, while we have the same fundamental values and outlook on life, which I know is extremely important in a relationship, it worries me that we are so different in our everyday lives. While I'm someone who is a competitive marathon runner, my boyfriend never goes to the gym. I am extremely organized and neat. My boyfriend is not a planner. I like to go out on weekends. My boyfriend prefers to stay home. Does he do anything?
All she's saying is the stuff he doesn't do.
Right. I'm very extroverted. He's very...
He's in a closet all night.
Right. Is he okay? Well, these seem like trivial differences on paper. I don't know. You made him sound like he's depressed. It manifests as me feeling like having a separate life from him. I go out, have experiences with my friends, travel, etc., and he is never part of it because simply because he doesn't want to do these things. I always invite him. I'm all for having girls' night and even travel by myself quite a bit, but is this normal in a long-term relationship to do so much apart? I've always liked being very independent, and sometimes it wears me out that other couples are truly a team and do every part of life together, and we don't. It makes me wonder if we have grown apart, if this is just a regular part of growing up in a long-term relationship, and now is the time for us to put in the extra effort to come back together. While we both make a conscious effort to find more activities to do together, in the back of my mind, I do wonder if this is normal or if the other couples have it, quote unquote, easier and just like doing a lot of the same things together. Or maybe it's just me having commitment issues, the 7-year itch. Since no one will ever be the perfect fit. After all, people change and life is long. This is the most depressing email I've ever heard.
Life is long.
I guess people change.
You're 27. Life is long.
Right. Maybe all couples go through lulls where they find themselves drifting apart. Any thoughts would be appreciated. Love you both. 7-year batch. What do you think?
I think it's interesting because it says like she's focusing on the 7 years, but I think 7 years when you meet someone at 27 or when you meet someone at 19 are very different.
Absolutely.
Totally different, like you met in a totally different stage of life and you grow. I would say those are like very formative years. It's like 20 to 25 specifically, like people change a lot.
The most. And if you're kind of doing those things apart, like if you're like just kind of like two ships that are like going in the same direction but don't really like
know what brings you together.
Right. Like, getting your doctorate, like that's a lot of time in school. Like,
right.
Like I think like right now she's coming out of the fog of like no more school. Like they're 27, so I'm sure they're becoming doctors now.
Yeah.
They're done. And now it's like emptiness.
Right. Do we still like each other without these other things
going on? And now she's like coming to terms with that.
And it's hard, but I think like, I didn't have this experience, but a lot of people who meet someone really young, it's kind of like if this is really your only relationship experience, you have no idea if like it could be better or worse out there. And you just don't know because you haven't done it. So I think that could be like kind of stressful because you're like, I'm in it. I'm having an okay time. It's not bad. Like, could be worse out there, maybe.
Right.
Maybe it could be better. Like this is fine.
This is fine, but is there a ghost out there that makes my life even better?
Right.
Here's what I have to ask you. What do you do things with Mike that you don't like to do?
I definitely did earlier in our relationship. I think I do. Yeah. I do Christmas.
But there's a sense of compromise. Like you go to events.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think what he makes me do. I've gone to like golf stuff with him that I don't really
I think this is bizarre to not to just be like to go on a trip alone.
A trip alone is like that's sort of an issue, I think.
Yeah, I what level of effort is being made
and here's the thing.
To share in each other's worlds and like where's the compromise? Like I understand this like well, he doesn't like to go out, so I go out with my friends. Like, well, where do you? I think it's like.
Well, I think it's a sort of multi-part question. One is like, what are the differences? What's like missing here? And two, how much does it bother you?
Mm-hmm,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And only she can like. We can't say this relationship sucks. Get out of it. Because we're not in it, and I don't know how much she values going on trips together or being active. I don't think there's a right answer for how much you should or shouldn't value that. If she's kind of like, I would really like to be with someone who shares my interests and goes out with me, and we're like having this act. A lot of people would be like separate lives. Love that. That works perfectly for me. I love doing my own thing.
Right. I don't know. I think there's got to be a healthy blend. You know, like when she's attached to this 7-year itch because that's a thing.
Right.
You know, like if it didn't exist, someone made
And
it up.
she's at a point where she's like, okay, I have to now, we're talking about engagement. I have to now commit to this thing for the rest of my life. Like I have to sign a paper and say, I want this for the rest of my life. And I kind of just like, you know, where you're like, I woke up and I'm here. Like you said, with the men and their weddings, it can feel like that.
Right.
Sometimes I'm sure it kind of feels like that for her. Like, did I make an active choice to get here, or did I start hooking up with a guy at 19 and now we're just here?
Especially because of the doctor thing.
Yeah.
Like if they're both getting their PhDs, that's a lot of work and a lot of alone time.
Right.
And yeah, I'm with you. It's we can't tell. I can't tell these people break up, but I can say, like, I guess she's got to like look out to the future. Like, do I see myself doing life alone? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, is that something I want?
Right. I don't know. Like,
sounds like she doesn't because she's writing in. Right.
You're writing in and you're saying, I don't mind doing these things alone, but would my life be enhanced by someone that I enjoy spending time with and enjoy? I don't think if you're she says she's a marathon runner and he does nothing. Like, that to me is like an extreme version, but like, I don't know. I don't think you have to go to the gym with your wife.
No.
You know, like it's like there's a middle ground. I just think there's no middle ground here.
Right. I do think about, I mean, at first I think you kind of like, I think it's not necessarily about doing things you don't want to do with the person that you're with. Because I think people prefer to, I don't think there's anything wrong with going to a show with someone who actually likes that show instead of the person that you're with. But there's got to be something that you enjoy doing together.
I would assume.
She's only talking about the stuff that they do differently.
Right.
If there's nothing that they do together, yeah, that's like a separate lives kind of thing. If they have different, I have a lot of like hobbies and interests that Mike doesn't have that I prefer to. I don't want him to come and do them with me. I'd rather do them with someone who actually likes those things. But there's other stuff that we like to do together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's got to be fun to like report on what happened at the thing you like to do with the other people who like to do it.
Yeah.
And it's also got to be fun to like enjoy these things that you guys specifically like together. Like,
yeah. I think that's I don't think doing everything together is the key to a happy relationship.
I think that's the key to the horrific.
Yeah.
No, but this seems too black and white the way they're working it right now. Like, I think like my next step, if I were her, would be like, let's make a list of the things you do like doing together.
Yeah. Cause she hasn't mentioned any, and maybe there are some and she's just focusing on what's missing.
Right.
But maybe there's the more she thinks about it, the more she's like, oh, we actually do bond over this thing, or we're both get really into that, or we're comfortable in this way.
Right. And then maybe bring it to this person, this guy, and be like, hey, I want to like get some stuff on the books for us to like have some more memories.
Right.
Because all I can think about is like the trip I did with my girlfriends and the night out I did with and then like I'm like thinking like, well, we haven't done much in the last year. I'm thinking of these 7 things that we do together. Can we plan one from each category?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think math, make it math a little bit more than emotion, because there is the emotional, like, just like you said, like, she's only bringing up the negative.
Right. And I do think that, like, if she plans on marrying this person, to say that she has this fear is not like the craziest thing.
Right.
To say, like, we're talking about getting engaged. I'm thinking about, we're spending the rest of our lives together, and I'm a little scared that like we don't do enough together, and that this is what our life is going to be, just 2 people living together doing totally separate stuff. I think to say that to someone, especially if you're not like blaming it on them, if you're making it like a we problem, then that's like a really intimate, real discussion.
And to make her feel better, 27's not like, this is all makes sense. It's happening at 27. She might feel older because they've been together 7 years and they got together at 19. So they've probably been the adults in the whole thing. But like 27 is like, that's when people get engaged a lot. Or they break up. 27's not a weird age to be single.
It's not a weird age to be thinking about these things with the person you're dating, and just be evaluating your relationship that you had from college. I would say now's the time to evaluate it.
Right. Yeah, and you're not too late, you're not too early. I think she's on the right track. If anything, it'd be weird to hear that he hasn't thought about these things.
Right. And you could just, I've seen people do this a lot with their jobs. They got a job out of college and they're just still there at like 27, 28. And I think it's normal, whether you're talking about a job or a relationship, to be like, all right, I've been here a bit. I haven't really put much thought into like assessing how it's going and how longer I want to stay.
Right.
Now seems like a good time to do that. It doesn't mean anything's bad or good. It's a healthy thing to like think about it.
Right. Yeah. I think this is like, you're going to have a hard conversation, but if they're going to like have it with you.
Yeah.
And if they don't, that's the answer.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't see anything wrong. I like staying home and doing nothing. Okay.
Right.
Well, we don't do anything together. That's the way I want my life to be.
Well, that's a relationship that's not getting deeper.
Right.
And that's a relationship that's stalled if one person's not looking to like keep it moving.
I've been in that scenario. You're just hovering above. And you're like, why am I not pushing forward? And, you know, that could mean the end.
It could. It could mean, I mean, it could mean she evaluates it and she thinks that there's a lot of really good stuff there that she hasn't mentioned any of in her email to us. But it could definitely be there.
She had a chance to write as much as she wanted. She wrote not one positive thing.
Doesn't go out, doesn't run, never leaves the house. She's in a closet.
Just say.
Yeah. And we'll be back on Wednesday.
We'll be back. We solved dating again.
We did it. Proud of us.
Boom.
Bye. The You Up podcast is produced by Jorge Morales-Pico, Sean Kilby, and Candice Maniga. Editing by Jorge Morales-Pico and Shannon Sassone. Social media by Candice Maniga. Guest booking by Ali Friedlander. Be sure to follow at you.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.